Welcome to English Unlocked, the slow English podcast for learners who want to feel more confident every day. I am Luna.
And I am Luca. We are really glad you are here with us today.
So, Luca, can I ask you something before we start?
Of course. What is it?
Have you ever looked at your phone, seen a number you did not know, and just let it ring?
Oh, yes. Too many times. I always tell myself, if it is important, they will send a message.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, sometimes it is important, and I still let it ring.
I think a lot of people do that, and for English learners, it is even harder. A phone call in another language feels very different from a text message.
That is what we want to talk about today. Phone calls in English, why they feel difficult, and what we can actually say when we pick up.
Because there are phrases and small words that can make a real difference, and once you know them, a phone call feels much less scary.
So, if you have ever avoided a phone call in English or felt your heart beat faster when the phone rang, this episode is for you.
And even if your English is pretty good, phone calls have a special kind of pressure. There is no face, no expression, no time to reread.
Right? You have to understand and respond fast. So let us start with the moment that feels hardest for a lot of people. For me, the hardest moment is the very first second, when the phone rings and I know I have to answer in English.
That first second, what happens in your head right then?
Everything goes blank. I know the words, I have practiced, but when the phone rings, all of it disappears.
I think I understand that. It is like the pressure arrives before the conversation even starts.
Yes, exactly. The pressure comes first, then the words disappear.
So you are already nervous before you say one word.
Which makes that first word so hard to say, because the moment you answer, you have to be ready.
And in English, people often speak fast right from the beginning. Hello, this is David calling from, and before you know it, you have missed the name and the reason.
Oh, I know that feeling, and then you feel embarrassed to ask them to repeat it.
That embarrassment is real. It stops people from asking, even when asking would solve everything.
I used to think that asking someone to repeat was a sign of bad English. Now, I think it is a sign of good listening.
Good listening. I like that, because even native speakers ask people to repeat on the phone.
They do. The connection is sometimes bad. Someone speaks quietly, or you just miss one word.
So asking to repeat is not embarrassing. It is just communication.
And there is a simple and polite way to ask. You can say, "Sorry, could you repeat that, please?"
Could you repeat that? That phrase is calm and professional. It does not sound like you are lost.
Right. It sounds like you are paying attention, and you want to understand. That is a good thing.
I think the phone also feels hard because you cannot see the other person's face on a video call. You get small clues from their expression. On the phone, you only have words and voice.
That is such a good point. The face gives you a lot of information, even without words.
And when that information is gone, you have to work harder to understand. So naturally, it feels more tiring.
More tiring, but also more possible than people think. Because once you have a few reliable phrases, the phone becomes much less scary.
Can I tell you about a phone call I had a few years ago? It was actually quite bad.
Oh, please, tell me.
I was trying to make an appointment, a simple phone call, but the person spoke very fast, and after about 30 seconds, I had no idea what she had said.
And what did you do?
I said yes and hung up. I did not know what I had agreed to.
Oh no. And what happened?
I missed the appointment because I wrote down the wrong day, because I had guessed.
That is such a human story. You said yes, because you did not want to say, "I did not understand."
Exactly. I chose the easier answer in that moment, but it made everything harder later.
And I think a lot of learners do the same thing. They say yes or okay because stopping to ask feels too scary.
But the cost of not asking is sometimes bigger than the small, uncomfortable moment of asking.
So, what would you do differently now?
Now I would say, I am sorry, I did not catch that. Could you slow down a little?
I did not catch that. That is a really natural phrase. It sounds soft and polite.
It does not sound angry or confused, it just means I missed that part.
And could you slow down a little is also very useful because sometimes the problem is really just the speed.
Right? You understand the words, but they come too fast, so slowing down is the solution.
Not repeating the vocabulary, just changing the speed.
And most people will slow down when you ask. They are not trying to be difficult.
I think we also need to talk about what to say at the very beginning, before the conversation even starts.
You mean when you pick up the phone?
Yes, because how you open the call can set the tone for everything.
That is true. If you open confidently, even with simple words, the other person feels it.
And there are some very simple opening phrases that sound natural and calm.
Like what?
Well, the simplest one is just saying your name. Hello, this is Luna. Or, if it is a business call, hello, this is Luna speaking.
This is Luna speaking. That sounds professional, but not too formal.
And for an informal call, you can just say hello with a question in your voice and then give your name when the person speaks.
Simple, clear. That is all you need for the first second.
What about when you are the one making the call? That feels different from receiving one.
Oh, it does feel different when you call someone you know the reason, but saying it clearly in English is still difficult.
Because you have to introduce yourself and explain the reason at the same time.
And you often feel rushed because you do not want to waste the other person's time.
Right, so you start speaking fast, and then you lose your words.
I have done that. I practiced the whole sentence before calling, and then the moment someone answered, I forgot half of it.
What did you say?
Something like, hello, yes, I am calling for, I have a question about. It was not my best moment.
But here is the thing. Even that confused start is fixable. You can take a short breath and try again.
You can say something like, sorry, let me start again. I am calling about.
And most people will wait. They understand starting over is not failure.
So what is a clear and simple way to say why you are calling?
A very natural structure is, hello, this is I am calling because, and then give the short reason.
I am calling because simple and direct.
Or if it is more specific, you can say, I am calling about my appointment, or I am calling to ask about the price.
Those are easy to build. I am calling to, plus the action. I am calling to ask. I am calling to confirm. I am calling to cancel.
And those phrases work in almost any phone call situation. Work, medical, service, anything.
I also think it helps to prepare one or two sentences before you make a call, even just writing them down.
Oh, definitely. I still do that sometimes. I write the key words on a small piece of paper so I do not forget.
And if the call goes in a different direction, that is okay. You have the opening ready. The rest you can manage.
The opening is the hardest part. Once you have started, the call usually becomes easier.
Because the pressure of how do I begin is gone.
And I think that is worth saying again. The fear is mostly at the beginning, not through the whole call.
Right? 5 minutes into a call, it usually feels easier than the first 30 seconds.
Always, once the conversation is moving, your brain relaxes and the words come more naturally.
So maybe the goal is not to feel confident before the call. The goal is to survive those first 30 seconds.
And a simple, prepared opening phrase helps you do exactly that. It carries you through the most difficult moment.
After that, the conversation can find its own direction.
Can we talk about accents for a moment? Because this is something that many learners feel uncomfortable saying.
What do you mean?
Sometimes you do not understand because of the accent, not because your English is bad, just because the accent is unfamiliar.
Oh, that is real, and people feel embarrassed to admit it.
But it is completely normal. Even between native English speakers from different countries, accents cause confusion.
So, if a learner does not understand a strong accent, that says nothing about their level.
Nothing. It just means the voice is new to their ear, and their ear needs a little time.
And again, asking politely is the right answer. You can say, I am sorry, I am still learning English. Could you speak a little more slowly?
That phrase is honest and kind. It gives the other person information, and most people will respond very warmly.
Most people become more patient when they know they do not become impatient.
Right. They slow down, they speak more clearly, and suddenly the conversation works.
And I think being honest about your level is actually a strength, not a weakness.
Exactly. You are not pretending, you are communicating. That is the real goal.
That takes confidence, more confidence than pretending to understand.
I like that. Honesty in a phone call is a form of confidence.
Let us talk about the end of a phone call, because that also has its own small challenge.
Oh, yes, the ending. Sometimes you are not sure when the conversation is finished.
Or you want to finish, but you do not know how to say it politely.
And so you just keep talking because ending feels awkward.
Or you say, okay, 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 several times, but the call continues for another 3 minutes.
Yes, the okay, okay ending that never actually ends.
So what is a natural way to close a phone call?
A simple one is, thank you so much for your help. I think I have everything I need.
That signals that the conversation is complete. You are satisfied. It is a natural close.
Or if you want to confirm something before ending, you can say, just to confirm, so the appointment is on Thursday at 2?
That is very useful. It shows you listened, and it gives both people a clear final point.
And then after the confirmation, a simple, great thank you, goodbye, feels very natural.
Short and clean. No need for a long goodbye.
There is also the situation where the other person starts to end the call and you are not ready.
Oh, when they say, is there anything else I can help you with? And you suddenly realize you forgot to ask something.
Yes, and your brain goes blank again.
In that moment, you can just say, actually, yes, I had one more question. It is perfectly fine.
Actually, yes. Those two words buy you a second. They are simple and clear.
And they do not sound rude. They sound like you are organized and thinking.
Right, you are not interrupting. You are just continuing the conversation you both started.
I want to share something that changed how I feel about phone calls in English.
What happened?
There was a time when I called a hotel to change my reservation, and the whole call went well, from the beginning to the end.
Oh, tell me more.
It was short, maybe 2 minutes, but I said my name. I explained why I was calling, I confirmed the new date, and I said goodbye.
That sounds like a complete, perfect call.
And after I hung up, I just sat there for a moment. Because it worked. Nothing went wrong.
I love that moment. The quiet after a difficult thing works.
It felt bigger than it probably looked from the outside, but inside it was a real win.
Those small wins matter so much because your brain starts to change how it sees phone calls.
From this is scary to this is possible.
And the next call becomes a little easier, and the one after that.
Not because your English suddenly became perfect, but because you have evidence that you can do it.
Evidence. That is such a good word for it. You have proof.
The small win becomes the proof for the next attempt.
And the phrases we talked about today, they can help you build those wins.
Let us go through them one more time. The first one was, "Sorry, could you repeat that, please?"
Simple and calm. You can use that in almost any call.
Then, "I am sorry, I did not catch that. Could you slow down a little?" When the problem is the speed.
And when you call someone, start with hello. This is I am calling because,
If you feel the call is getting lost, it is okay to say, "Sorry, let me start again."
and if the accent is difficult, being honest helps. I am sorry, I am still learning English. Could you speak more slowly?
And at the end, "Thank you so much. I think I have everything I need."
These are not complicated phrases, but they cover the most important moments in a call.
The beginning, the middle when things go wrong, and the end.
And the small, honest moment of saying, I did not catch that.
Which is actually the most important phrase of all. Because most problems in a phone call happen because people are afraid to ask.
So here is our question for you. Have you ever had a phone call in English that felt like a small win? Tell us about it in the comments.
We love reading those stories because sometimes the smallest moment is the most important one.
And if you have not had a win yet, maybe this week is your chance.
Pick one small call, one sentence, that is enough to start.
Thank you so much for listening to English Unlocked today.
If this episode helped you, or if you know someone who is also nervous about phone calls in English, please share this with them.
And if you want more slow English conversations like this one, subscribe to English Unlocked. We make a new episode every week.
We are always glad to have you here. Take your time, keep listening, and remember that every call you make is a little practice.
Even the difficult ones.
Even the ones where you forget your words.
Those are the ones that teach you the most.
Take care. Bye.